Uh, Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Dr. Froilan D. Mobo from the Philippine Merchant Marine Academy, the Assistant Director for the Department of Research and Development and Extension. At the same time, also the Editor-in-Chief of the International Journal of Multidisciplinary Applied Business and Education. Uh, so my task for today is to deliver about the multidisciplinary research culture amidst the pandemic. So during the pandemic crisis, a lot of educators and scholars felt devastated because they thought that they could not continue with their academic and scholarly work because of the abrupt pandemic crisis. The good thing about the research publication and submission continues to grow eventually because it led to researchers and scholars writing on topics related to COVID-19. That's why it was a breakthrough for other scholars and researchers globally. Then a lot of researchers and scholars opened its door to the research and development during the pandemic and also up to now. So it's just a pandemic we're facing right now, and we need to think up or innovate a new strategy in order to survive on this battlefield. That's why a group of researchers like the ICSED Institute of Economic Development and Social Research and other international research institutions, of course, facilitates its call for papers globally by using an alternative mode of presentation, just like what we are doing right now using Zoom, Google Meet, and other platforms that can facilitate the continuous presentation and other research scholarly work. So also journal publications waive the article processing charges just to give to those scholars or writers who are greatly affected by this devastated situation. So the adoption of this new research culture through the use of technology-based platform such as ResearchGate, Google Scholar, and Mendeley encourages scholars and writers to persevere in their efforts to produce a good quality publishable paper that is globally readable and can be cited as many times as the researchers have read it, just like what I'm doing since the pandemic started. I published already 71 papers up to present, and it has gained uh, 42 citations in ResearchGate and 34 citations in Google Scholar in a matter of 2 years. So, which means that is a good numbers or figures or statistics in the research culture amidst the pandemic. So every research conference are also being offered free. That's why as a researcher by heart, I will have I will continue to promote and introduce new research methods in the field of academics, research and development, such as quantitative, and mixed method research. This is to design locally or globally, which is needed on in this time of pandemic. So there is a big opportunity in research and development, of course, not only in this time of pandemic. So to stay at home and do collaborative research that can be cited and publishable in reputable journal, which is indexed in direct open access journals, which is the DuWatch, the Scopus, and the Web of Science, and other high impact factor indexing databases, which is part of the peer reviewed reputable journal. So the pandemic has not only affected the publication, but the readership trend as well. In a multidisciplinary journal, we can see a steady increase in COVID-19 related articles compared to other diseases. So trending from between 2020 up to present, a lot of publications related to COVID-19 was published. For example, it was also indexed in Thomson Reuters, Scopus journals, and also in the Web of Science indexing database. So which means that is a good figure that most of the researchers have done throughout the whole pandemic period. And of course, A study also found that the publications examining the relationship between the COVID-19 and also the education, which is focused on online education and teacher education, while countries that contributed the most in the publications on this issue were, of course, the USA, the United Kingdom, Canada, and Spain, which really grows many statistics as far as that. So another study showed that they had focused largely on remote distance learning, but had also covered a wider spectrum of issues in relation to teaching and learning, which give emphasis to that of technologies for teaching and learning assessment, and of course, their capacity as a teacher. And this is to institutionalize the preparedness in this time of pandemic in regarding the research and development and also with publication. And of course, the study findings and propositions suggest that COVID-19, of course, will be the catalyst for several long and short-term policy changes, which give the necessitating the theoretical and empirical attention of all researchers across the globe. So the offered proposition will act as a roadmap for potential research opportunities, not just only during the pandemic, but as long as we have the research and development process and we can continuously grow with it. So the most publications which are been read in most country or which was published is mostly in America and China. And the most used keywords are COVID-19, online education, and distance education. Then the most cited authors are the following. Of course, we have Chen, Kong, Peng, and Yang. They are the most popular, most cited authors during, of course, the start of the pandemic and up to the present. And finally, it has been observed that the highly cited journals really more being sustainable enough. So the total number of papers that were captured by the search criteria, for example, in Google Scholar, ResearchGate, was around 10,685. They were included on the website, for example, in the Google Scholar and ResearchGate. So the greatest increase in the types of studies over the 16 weeks and up to present, just like what we are doing in the publication is, for example, a narrative review, an expert opinion papers, followed by a case scenarios and report, which is relevant to the COVID-19 pandemic. So the least published types of studies were meta-analysis, systematic reviews, and randomized control trials. So during the first year of the pandemic, we have the figure statistics around 73,079 tweets from 44,609 users, and then 7,164 publications and 4,702 preprint applications were published and uploaded. So which means that they are active during those time. Started between 2020 of March, whereas preprint and publication activity really readily increase. So on the horizon, of course, libraries and other virtual libraries have been the gateways to relevant informations and knowledge for conducting research and publications, and of course, the development on related subject areas during the pandemic. So the library information services started to give importance by providing researchers the opportunity to explore, of course, in the medical and scientific research while preventing or battling this disease. So as you read the figures on the screen, these are the figures showing between the first week of January and up to present. This is the statistics ranking. So we have rank one is the United States, which has around 26,716 publications. So which means that it is really favorable for all the researchers and authors and scholars to publish their papers, of course, in reputable peer-reviewed journal. That's why COVID-19 research article, the sharing of this topic is seen as the poster child for open science. And the pandemic held up as the turning point for open science to be known globally. Yet the report finds that this has only partly been realized because it makes a series of key recommendations, three of which focus on opening up data, encouraging preprint, and strengthening collaboration across the scholarly communications ecosystem, which is, it gives emphasis that uh, the industry of research and publications and even the uh, preprint has really grown up. It didn't stop. As if you're seen on the screen, these are the popular file server for the research papers, which can be uploaded so that it can be cited. So of course, we have the research publication process in a journal, in the SAGE journal. As you see, a lot of papers relevant to COVID-19 can be indexed, can be cited. Okay, those are COVID-19 latest research. And of course, number of coronavirus or COVID-19 articles reaches around 23,500 on major databases. For example, we have the Web of Science, the Scopus database, the ASEAN citation, and also the JED accredited journal, which is based here in the Philippines. So those are the major indexing databases that most of the papers really flooded. So which means that the activity of the scholars and researchers is continuously grow. So they did not stop because part of that, they can explore many things as part of the solution for this global crisis that we are facing. It was in the online repository, which is very well known, for example, the SSRN, the scientists, all papers can be uploaded as part of the preprint and can later or can be accessed by users or authors that can they cite it as part of their supporting support, documentation or justification for their research, for their study. So we have the preprint, we have the statistics. As you see on the screen, it figure out that these are the most widely accepted, published on preprint or in the journal databases. So the increase of citation continues to grow. Just like what I mentioned to you, that my paper has already gained 42 citations in ResearchGate and 34 citations in Google Scholar. So that is almost for a matter of 2 years. So which means that that is really a good sign. So in my ResearchGate, as you see on the screen, that it has already 42 citations and it has already a 3 high impact factor. Okay, so I have this Google Scholar profile. You can see on the screen that I have many also citations. I have 34. And that would be all for today. So thank you for inviting me for this for the first Pedagogica International Conference, which focuses on the trends of research and development in different sectoral areas. So that would be all. So this is again Dr. Froilan Dimobo from the Republic of the Philippines saying always stay safe and God bless everyone. Thank you and good day.